This guy is in trouble. Something strange is happening in Nigeria now that you guys need to hear about. Very troubling but interesting story. So this guy is named OG1 Savage. He's a fast rising musician in Nigeria, and he looks very rich because he has a lot of expensive rides and so on. So he has a girlfriend. Some people say that they were dating. Some people say they were meeting for the first time. So basically, a woman visited him. All right, a lady visited him. That lady is also on Instagram, right? I don't want to call her name because her family is still grieving, and she unalived. She lost her life. So now, how the details of how she lost her life is very important because according to some narratives, she was there, and the guy does not know, didn't know that she was pregnant for with a baby for another guy. So now, some people are saying the guy invited her for, to give her a phone. She came to collect a phone, a new phone. So the guy wants to replace her phone. But as well, there might be some, romantic um, gesture return from her. But according to some people, some narratives, she refused. Her drink was spiked, and the thing took her life. All right, the spike, probably because she was pregnant. So she texted her sister the address of the place and said that she's not feeling fine. So they said that when her sister arrived, that the clothes she wore to leave the house, it was a Sunday. So before leaving, she put her tights in an envelope and gave her mom. So now, the clothes she wore before leaving the house, they said that um, by the time her sister was coming, they have already changed her clothes. They now gave her another cloth there, and her body was wet. And the guys there, probably this guy was not the only one in the house. So the guys there were saying that it's because she was panting, that she's obviously not feeling well. So they were pouring her water, and that got her first clothes wet. They went to the hospital. Before they could move to another hospital, she lost her life. So now, but from the guy's side, the guy is maintaining that nothing happened to her. She just started feeling bad. Some people are even saying that maybe they all drank something. Young people now, everybody will mix something in a container and everybody will drink to get high. But because she was pregnant, the effect on her body was now worse. I've gone through the girl's profile and TikTok. She twerks and all this. So now the issue now is that this guy is under police custody. Probably some of his friends in the house because it's a murder case, bro. And what I have to tell you, every young man watching this, as a legendary Igbo man once said, "Mbosi ashawo ga nwunu noge, amwa jogo yi." In English, it means that the day a prostitute will die in your house, your prick will come down by force. Some people are not really alive. Some people, you tell them bad news, they will collapse and die. You understand? There was a guy, a friend of mine, that one night his girl visited him. 2 a.m. at night, the girl wanted to die. She couldn't breathe again. 2 a.m. She managed to wake the guy up. What happened? What happened? What's it? She said she's asthmatic. So where's your inhaler? She didn't come with her inhaler. Bro, this guy had to leave his house, come over to my house, and call me that 2 a.m. I said, please, let's go, because I have a car now. Let's drive to go and get her inhaler. 2 a.m. at night. Imagine two guys driving 2 a.m. at night. Imagine we ran into police patrol. The explanation we have to give that night. Now imagine that police was chasing some armed robbers, right? And they now saw us driving. And we are the only ones on the street 2 a.m. at night. But a life was involved. I had to just sacrifice for my friend. We drove to their place and woke her roommate. Her roommate had to give us her inhaler. She passed it through the gate. We got it and we drove back. Do you know that by the time we were coming back, when we opened his door, the girl was already leaning on the door. She panted for breath to the point she came to the door and she was leaning on the door. So when we opened, she just fell. Her eyes were already turning. Some people are not alive and they will not go with their medications. You get? Then you now go and do a sexual intercourse that it takes a lot of energy. You just pass out. When we were in school, one of my friends, they finished knacking like this. The girl entered convulsion. Like 10 minutes after knacking, they were now eating. Almost. The guy put his hand inside her mouth and she almost bit off his finger. Some people are not alive. It's not in the olden days where if you know they're alive, you just buy. Now there are medications. So many people are living on medications. And number two is many of these in the past 2 or 3 weeks we've been seeing cases of guys unalive their girlfriend, and people say it's ritual. Sometimes it's not ritual. You know, all this sex play. I don't want. The girl will carry herself and go to your house, and be giving you flashing green light. When you now want to touch in the middle, she will now withdraw consent. That process is where many guys fall into temptation. In the case of this guy now, the girl was pregnant. That was probably why she withdrew consent without telling the guy she was pregnant. If she had informed the guy wouldn't even have invited her in the first place. She somehow want to collect the phone without giving anything. You get what I'm saying? So many guys don't understand some of these traps. If you are dealing with any lady and she withdraws consent, withdraw your own consent immediately. If you say no before she finishes, no, just leave her. Leave my house. It's better you guys quarrel or disagree. It's better for everybody than you assume that she's just trying to test you. There's no testing in that. We have passed that era. That era when all those are mothers or grandmothers will be saying no, jokingly saying no. The ancient father will now be trying to pressurize. That era has passed. No now means exactly no, and it doesn't just mean no. No means no, leave my house. That's what it means. If you and a lady is dating and she ever withdraws consent, if no matter how deep you want to stop immediately, that's a manipulation technique. And anybody that is willing to manipulate you that way, you don't know to what extent she will go. She can come out tomorrow and accuse you of doing something you did not do, that you forced her. Go and Google, many footballers have gone to jail. So once you are dealing with any lady and she's not straightforward, cut it off immediately. Let her leave her house. The day her brain corrects and she knows what she wants, you guys can meet. No means exactly no, and it means no, get out of my house. You don't want somebody coming and dealing with you halfway and confusing. No means no, get out of my house. Leave first. If you have transport, pay her transport, let her go. It's better for you. Take that loss. Don't try to force yourself on her. Don't try to pressure her. Don't try to persuade. That persuasion now, if she's telling the story, that just verbal persuasion, the way they will turn it, it will now be like you are forcing her. Don't persuade anybody. Apart from that chat you guys had, phone calls, once you are meeting face to face, you have to watch yourself. You get, not everybody is alive. Not everybody is alive. Some people, they don't die. Now, this guy now, assuming he's innocent, I want to assume that this guy is innocent. A lady visited him, and maybe they drank something, maybe they did not drink, and she lost her life. Do you know how many years this guy will be in police custody before you can prove it? His innocence. Do you know? Hey, murder case, Africa. You don't go as a man. If it's a woman, they will consider her point of view. You know, they will relate with her. She's a woman, she cannot do this. Maybe somebody pushed her, they use her for ritual. Somebody's controlling her for village to do that. Do you know what the man did? People will be providing evidence, excuses for her. Even in the court case, they will be providing excuses for her. You as a man, they will say you use her for ritual. Before you even say, ritual, they will now be asking you, who and who did you do the ritual with? Even if you are innocent, and somebody unalive died in your house, for you to prove that you are innocent. Do you know there are guys that went to jail for 8 months because somebody died in their compound? I know a guy who went to jail for 8 months. They try to prove that they are not involved. The whole all the men in the compound, they left all the ladies. All the men in the compound went to jail to prove your innocence in Africa as a man. So anything that will lead you into that kind of temptation, that is the meaning of lead us not into temptation. Anything that will lead you to that. If you are dating a lady and you know she's asthmatic, you have to mandate her to always come to your house with her inhaler. You understand? Make sure they come with her. If she has any medications that she's taking, let her tell you on chat, so you keep screenshots somewhere. No means no, get out. Don't even negotiate that. No means no, get out of my house. Don't negotiate that. It's better for you, better for her. If she's telling you no, she's not in the mood. You understand? Or she's not in the mental space, or she's trying to manipulate you. Either of which way, leaving your house at that moment, she said no is best for you. And meanwhile, if you want to invest in crypto this year and become a billionaire, visit investorpath.org or just inbox me.